And then SCP Foundation. Ah, I'm so excited. It's been such a long time. Okay. That's there. That's there. You guys ready? I'm not.
SCP.
Also, this whole entire series is just a bunch of science and science and science. It makes my brain go, brrr, you know? Like, brrr, but like, sure. Like, I get it, I guess.
SCP-7243. Existential Abatement.
Tell me if you guys can hear it.
Part 3. In most articles in the SCP universe, the Foundation has survived for many years and continues to survive thanks to their prudence.
Good. Okay, how have they survived up to this point? I still don't get it. They should be dead. They have made so many stupid mistakes in this series. You can hear it? Okay, that's good. They made so many mistakes in this series so far. Like, I feel like they should be dead right now, you know? Like, I feel like the universe just hates them. And speaking of universes, there's multiple universes. Like, and there's like multiple SCPs and multiple universes, and there's different timelines and la 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 la. Like, I don't get it. They should be
The
dead.
Foundation is typically risk-averse, generally choosing to simply contain things as much as possible,
what does that mean?
research what they can, and work steadily to ensure the safety of both their organization
Surely they don't die, right?
and the rest of the world. The Admonition series of articles provides us a very different picture of an iteration of the Foundation where they're not as adverse to taking some big risks to solve some of their big problems, essentially existing as an example of why most foundations function the way that they do. In SCP-7243, we've seen
How many foundations are there, by the way? I should probably stop pausing. This is a really long video.
this Foundation's attempt at solving their waste crisis, with a plan that frankly seemed doomed to fail from the start due to messing with time. Let's finally see how it all ends up, though.
That's crazy. I can't believe they mess with time. I guess I'll stop talking.
Iteration of the Foundation simply implodes from sheer hubris. When we last left off, Amelia had returned from Site-43 after it was tossed outside of consensus reality
What a
for
woman.
a number of years. She still seemed to be in her right mind despite all that had occurred, but because SCP-7243 had been continually used to deal with anomalous waste during that time, it came back to reality with quite the explosion. This explosion was somewhat contained by the Foundation, merely managing to wipe out all of Site-43 and the surrounding area.
Let's go.
But as it turns out, most of that energy actually wasn't used up in the explosion. Most of it went into other dimensions and timelines. So we're now informed that numerous Central Normalcy authorities throughout the coalitional time plane have reported the manifestation of new adverse anomalous phenomena that came out of nowhere after the event. We're provided a curated selection of some of these phenomena from the Oracle Collective. In one dimension, a massive...
This image looks so cool, by the way.
unabated conceptual matter appeared within the corpse of a large-scale aggressor, which was currently undergoing abatement procedures at Area 16. Combining with other substances, the mass metastasized within the corpse and instantiated what the Foundation there called a conceptuo-kaiju resident in the logosphere. This entity promptly colonized the realms of speech and cognition,
I'm sorry,
preying and feeding on human mindfulness and assaulting linguistic structures and higher grammatical forms.
I'm sorry, what?
Plans are currently underway for a counter-conceptual linguistic device, a mecha verb, to combat it, codenamed Red Pen.
Wow, what a unique name. Also, for something called existential abatement, they're doing a sucky job.
In another dimension, some Theovlavic material is deposited into the core of the Sun, but the Oracle Collective can't determine this event's correlation to the following alterations to the Sun because of the loss of diplomatic relations due to irreconcilable transhumanistic change.
Okay.
In another dimension, a 7-meter-long recursive pipe array, the Mobius stripper temporal matter...
The what? Can you say that again, sir?
...reduction system vanishes from the interior of Acromatic Abatement Facility AAF-D. Unfortunately, this timeline is determined to be the prime timeline, and afterwards, Temporally variable conduits are formed between the timeline where the 7243 event occurred and a multitude of other timelines and adjacent reality spaces.
This is why timeline stuff is confusing, bro. What do you mean prime timeline? What defines a prime timeline? How do you guys figure this stuff up? Science doesn't make sense to me. Well, okay, it does. Of course it makes sense. It's just like so complicated. Why can't things just be simple?
These conduits are further reported to facilitate the unwelcome interdimensional transference of various anomalous phenomena, particularly during emergent scenarios, adding an additional layer of chaos and unpredictability to those scenarios' results.
We love unpredictability.
Research conducted by the Prime Timelines Department of History appears to suggest a direct correlation between these conduits' effects and evidence of a chain of historical ZK-class reality failures,
Oh, what?
the last of which occurred in 1500 CE.
Oh, great.
Further cross-temporal analysis has been deferred to the 09 Collective, per the importance of the Prime Timeline in Meta Foundation affairs. Later, the 09 Collective has concluded that the ZK-class phenomena constitute an ascension of a Tier 4 cosmological anomaly.
Huh? What the heck is a Tier 4 cosmological anomaly? I'm assuming that's not good. That's what I'm getting, you know? Anything with Cosmo in it, I'm just like, doesn't sound good, you know?
Which threatens to
And
fully
Tier 4?
manifest upon the authoritative Prime Timeline and all its descendant branches.
Oh, well, yeah.
In another iteration, ontologically dark-shifted material is deposited within a
There's a rainbow.
abatement facility AAF-D at Watchtower 43, in equal proportion to the materials already present. The materials annihilated each other in a controlled fusion explosion,
Nice.
which vents through the multiversal conduits, dissipating in the atmosphere and resulting only in equipment fatigue within the facility. Early estimates suggest an incremental increase in global climate change
Oh, look at the little heart, so cute.
across all affected timelines.
I love that. I love these emotes, by the way, on Twitch. They have so much of them, like so many different like pride plagues.
Alongside associated para-oncological effects. The last incident mentioned involved an instance of SCP Foundation Research Site 107 suddenly appearing, which was the only Foundation presence in this timeline. Admission to the Meta Foundation is pending based on first contact. It's been confirmed by the Collective that this log was
I'm sorry. I got distracted by the emote. What's wrong with that cat, bro?
received and viewed by several of the relevant authorities' overseer personnel, but for reasons unclear, the authority had made no attempt to communicate to the Collective, nor to any impacted timeline, nor to ameliorate said impacts. An audit is pending. The real kicker of all this, however, is that based on the incident numbers of the ones we were provided, this event has impacted hundreds of thousands of different dimensions and time.
I'm sorry, hundreds of thousands? How do you guys keep check of this stuff? How do you know this? They're great. Yeah, they really are. Look at that. It's so adorable. I guess, is adorable the right word? Cute? Slay? Like what? What did I say?
Amelia, after suitably recovering from her ordeal, proceeded to write a thesis paper on what she went through, titled Plunged, or the...
I would say like Scarred for Life, you know? If I had like write like a thesis or like a book or something, it would be like my nightmare.
last 72 months of Site 43.
Jesus.
It was submitted to the Faculty of Esoteric Reduction in May of 2044 to fulfill the requirements of the degree Doctor of Esoterica, and she gives special thanks to her supervisory committee, Dr. Reinders, whose fault this wasn't,
Reinders,
and Dr. Deering. She also dedicates the paper to Phil. We're not given the
Dr.
whole
Phil?
paper, just the start
Why
of
are
the
you here?
abstract, which states that on September 8th, 2036, Treatment Site 43 was excised from consensus reality, and on September 8th, 2043, it returned. Over the course of those 7 years, temporally restricted to 72 months within that pocket of unreality, with no oversight, assistance, sustenance, or sleep, the majority of the Foundation's achromatic abatement procedures were carried out by one person, Chief Amelia Terosian Deering of Janitorial and Maintenance,
Wow,
with this being
what a
her
title.
testimony.
She's so cool.
Reinders writes her a note about it, saying that she would have entitled the paper The Woman in the Annihilator, but tells her congratulations on becoming a doctor. After Amelia recovered, Deering engaged in email correspondence.
I'm sorry. Do I sound like I'm not taking this seriously? I'm over here like, Slay Queen, like, yes. I'm just like, I am paying attention. This is a lot. I think this is a story about Dr. Clef being lost in the multiverse. Is every doctor just in the multiverse is lost? Like, rip them, I guess. Like what are the chances of that? Is it like rare? Is it a rare phenomenon? Or is this like a very common thing for doctors?
With the Pilcrow-Minkowski Center on a daily basis, developing a radical new esoteric reduction device and constructing it at Treatment Area 21 with Amelia's engineering expertise. We're given some of the correspondences, although the messages from the PM Center have been lost due to mishandling of data transfer to Research Station Nemesine, detailed in SCP-6183, Black Box.
Black Box.
Deering writes that it has to be foolproof, as the last one failed because fools tampered with it.
Okay, who are these fools? Deal with them. There's always something wrong with something, and it's always like, they seem to make a mistake, and la la la, you know, like, a bunch of people mess with this, or they miscalculated, or they thought this was gonna happen. Like, well, just stop it. Just stop it. Stop messing with things. Things will work perfectly fine if you just stop messing with things, please. Also, Clef has a very interesting life, I bet. Ooh. Wait, what? 300 to raise 100k points. Let's go! I still don't know what the heck my something is, but it's gonna be something, okay? I promise. Surely. It's gonna be something really cool.
Human error cannot be a factor, or if it is, its influence needs to be isolated to things that can't destabilize our reality. If their solution threatens the stability of their own conceptual space, it's no better than the problem. The PM Center replied that the phrasing Deering used of our own conceptual space is key, and they have a solution.
Oh?
When Deering tells them to spell it out for him, he afterwards replies that Amelia will never go along with that plan.
Oh.
The PM Center mentions something about pocket dimensions.
What?
And Deering replies that after mulling it over, he thinks they're right.
Oh?
That's the obvious
Okay, I don't like that though. What do you mean he thinks? Like, I need a no, you are right.
lesson to learn from what happened, as they've essentially been handed a model and shown that it actually works. The engineering will be functionally identical, which is important, as he won't do this without Amelia's help. He can sell her on pocket dimensions, but not the other thing, which is...
You know, it's kind of funny. The way he talks, he has such like a weird cadence that sometimes when he says something, I think he's saying something else. Like he said, he is trying to sell her, and then he continues. I'm like, oh, thank God.
just between them for now.
I thought you meant he's trying to
He's
sell
not going
her.
to
Like,
look her in the eye and tell her that he took another shortcut. Later, the PM Center tells him that they cannot yet approve his penultimate request without some context, but he replies that he has no intention of explaining what it means. That's what they're going to name the device, and they can give the project some fanciful name if it makes them feel better.
give me some space.
With that, we're given the file for this mysterious project, which was given the fanciful name of Project Anaximander.
What kind of name? Anaximander. I mean, I like that part. It's like, I don't like how it's called Project Anaximander.
Probably named after the Greek philosopher.
Cool.
A quarterly report for the project, written by Deering, states that it continues to be an unqualified success, as they have transmitted 6 packets of esoteric effluence to their final destinations via Magic Drawer. This is apparently the device that Deering was talking about previously, although it's noted that details regarding this device are released on a need-to-know basis. All monitoring efforts suggest that the packets of waste were properly abated at their destinations to a high degree of efficiency. 0511 confirms the absence of any notable backlash effects, and the project will continue as planned through the next quarter at least. Precautions have been taken to ensure that the incident with SCP-7243 cannot occur again, and Area
Surely it won't happen
21
again.
has received multiple requests from other Foundation facilities to implement limited local magic drawer devices at key points in the global logistics network. Due to the nature of Magic Drawer, however, and the high degree of technical ability required to operate and maintain it, these requests have been denied.
Ooh. Man, a lot of things are denied in this world. Also, random question. How are humans like in this world? Like normal civilians? What are they doing? Are they just vibing? Like, how are they? Like, it's actually a real question. Like the scientists, sure, like, whatever. They have, like, facilities and stuff. They know what's going on. Well, not really, but, like, they're trying, okay? But it's like, what are they doing? Like, do they... I doubt they have any control of SCPs or understand it, right? They be vibing or dead. Yeah, that's what I thought. They don't know about SCPs. That's what I thought. So, like, yeah, they just be vibing or dead. What the heck? It sounds like our world, I guess, in some ways.
They acknowledge that this solution does not provide the same expansive and proactive coverage of 7243, forcing small-scale abatement processes to continue.
For the most part.
And to that end, they have chosen to pursue a collaborative rather than unilateral approach. We're not given the rest of the quarterly report, and are instead given a note about the Esoteric Reduction Gala, which was reinstated in recognition of the incredible strides forward made by the Department of Esoteric Reduction under Project Anaximander.
Okay.
Highlights of this event included a retirement address, a tribute to the lost personnel of Treatment Site 43, several lectures on achromatic abatement, and the wedding reception for the guests of honor, Doctors Amelia Terosian Deering and Dougal Deering. That is perhaps the most surprising event mentioned in the article so far.
Yeah.
We're then given another one of the undated, unnamed notes, which says that they've stopped even trying to guess what waste is. They hardly even think about it anymore, even in the most absolute abstract.
RIP. All that time and effort just to give up on it.
Out of sight, out of mind.
So true.
Where once it was out of mind, out of sight. You tell me this way is better, but you don't tell me everything. Not even now. Next, we see a list for the Magic Drawer Packet Delivery Log for the year to date, with it confirming that a number of waste packets have been delivered to various other dimensions or timelines. The most recent one, however, is listed as Packet Pending, with the target destination being, curiously, the same timeline that these events have been occurring in. Obviously, that shouldn't be happening, so an emergency meeting is brought together between Deering, Amelia, and Reinders. Reinders tells Amelia that Magic Drawer is targeting them for delivery, which Deering says is impossible, and Amelia wonders if it's sabotage of some sort. Deering agrees that that must be it.
The Foundation uses amnesics a lot. The Foundation, are they good guys? Like, actually, some of them don't seem so bad. It's not like I heard anything like, I don't know, they don't seem evil. It's just, they just make a lot of mistakes, you know? They just sound like a classic, like, EVA Foundation, though. You know, civilians don't know about it. They don't tell people about it. They do things, like, in secret. It's kind of cool, though, in some ways.
As they can't be next in line after only 6 deployments. Amelia says that there must be safeguards for this kind of thing, and asks how it can even target a coherent timeline, as it was designed to dump into pocket dimensions. She then realizes that Deering didn't tell her everything about the project.
What?
And he begins to explain.
Oh, yeah.
For an explanation, we're provided the initial proposal file for the project, submitted by
You're
Deering.
neither good nor bad.
The purpose of
Honestly, that's a good answer.
the project is listed as permanently, robustly, and sustainably eliminating the deleterious effects of redundant esoteric waste substances on consensus reality at sufficient scale to compensate for the indefinite exponential growth of contained subjects and their byproducts. Typical
just dumping it?
mechanisms of esoteric reduction, such as used in achromatic abatement, are dependent on the detoxifying properties of an anomalously stable copper isotope occurring naturally within the waters of Lake Huron, which has been infeasible to artificially reproduce. As the quantity and volatility of anomalous waste have been increasing, this method has become less and less effective and can't be replicated at sufficient scale without using up all of Lake Huron's water.
That sucks.
An alternative method of esoteric reduction, known as existential abatement, has been proposed.
That's the name of the series!
Proposed and implemented by the PM Center, and was found to be over-engineered and profoundly unstable. This was SCP-7243,
Oh my god.
which failed, partly due
Yeah.
to being prematurely deactivated, which left it vulnerable to commandeerment by rogue AI agents.
Yeah, what happened with the AI? Can't forget about that.
Resulted in the loss of Site-43, its personnel, its infrastructure and contributions, its contained subjects, and the nation of Japan, as well as the sudden and global resurgence of the esoteric waste substances crisis, multiple breaches of baseline realities, ontokinetic and chronological integrity, and a cascading hazardous materials breach of multiversal proportion.
In other words, we are donezo.
The Department of Esoteric Reduction fundamentally rejects the pursuit of any such experimental solution, and has worked closely with the PM Center to develop a well-tested, robust, rigorous methodology which will ensure the stable ejection of esoteric waste substances from consensus reality.
Surely.
The method utilized by the project, then, doesn't involve erasing or detoxifying the anomalous waste, or trying to remove them from consensus reality.
Okay.
But
See where this
instead,
goes.
ejecting them into parallel universes.
Bruh. That's the most dumbest thing I've ever heard. What? Can they repeat that again? They're just gonna dump it into a different parallel universe? Yeah, each day in SCP is basically Trinity, and it really does sound like it, but I feel like this is gonna backfire on them. They're just dumping it in other different parallel universes? What? That's gonna affect other universes. This is not gonna end well, is it?
This process must be executed such that the impact on recipient timelines is minimal and undetected, as the
It's probably already yeah, true.
recipient's foundations, or their analogs, might
So it's just like a big loop.
otherwise become hostile to them. To achieve this, ejected substances should be evenly distributed across a wide range of timelines in small concentrated quantities.
Yeah, okay.
And they should be delivered to precise locations and times wherein their esoteric properties will be swiftly abated by local forces. The feasibility of this approach is attested by the EE-001 event, which now stands as this project's initial test case, and controlled and targeted dispersal can only
Make sure you guys
excel
hydrate.
these results. To accomplish this, the Department of Esoteric Reduction proposes the creation of an industrial Eigen machine stationed at Area 21. This would compress esoteric waste that has been sorted by attributes and properties into concentrated packets.
Wait until you hear about SCP-2000. I feel like I have. Someone's mentioned that, right? I'm not insane. There's just so many SCPs. It's hard to, like, remember them all. Also, I saw an SCP. It was like, it's not the first one, obviously. But it was like number 1 or whatever. Like 01 or whatever. I don't remember the number. I just remember it was just number 1. It was like Scarlet King or something. Should I react to that one? That one looked cool.
An extra universal imaging mechanism, designed by the PM Center in conjunction with placeholder McDoctorate, will generate a time plane curve map describing all timelines which possess an iteration of Site-43,
Sure.
or a suitable equivalent.
Glad you guys figured that out.
Every 72 days, for each waste packet, the next sequential timeline in the time plane curve map will be identified and targeted, hard-coded to avoid human error, and is subject to a ratchet system which cannot be countermanded, as the intense thaumic backscatter produced by each packet deployment must be evenly distributed along the time plane's heat arc to avoid a potentially meta-apocalyptic imbalance.
Yeah, just a, a potentially medic apocalyptic imbalance. Yeah, nothing bad's gonna happen. There's multiple 001s? Oh! Didn't know that was allowed. I thought I understood the rules of making SCPs, but I guess I don't. That's interesting, though.
A temporary
Oh, yeah, never mind. Actually, I didn't know that. Yeah, someone mentioned before that there is multiple, like, SCPs, like, number one, because, I don't know, because there's not actually a number one. It's all canon or something. I don't know. I don't remember. Yes, plenty of SCP-001 proposals. Yeah, they're like proposals or whatever. Scarlet King is cool. SCP-231 goes with it, but trigger warning. Ooh, why?
Trans-dimensional wave,
I don't get triggered.
or portal, will be initialized, linking Area 21 to the appropriate section of the selected timeline's abatement facilities at the time of minimal projected impact. The waste packet will then be ejected from consensus reality through this portal, whereupon it will be abated in the recipient timeline. The portal will then close, and the system will ratchet forward along the time plane map in anticipation of the next deployment.
Okay.
So basically, the Foundation is compressing their anomalous crap and sending it to a bunch of other Foundations without them knowing.
Yeah.
Dropping them into their abatement.
This is so ridiculous. It's just like you said, it's a never-ending loop.
Facilities to get.
So, do they also, I'm assuming they also have that technology as well. But, like, they're just not aware they're dumping that into there, but they still have them. Like, it's still waste, right? Like, they can't get rid of waste. This is, like, the only option. But, like, they're still not getting rid of it. Like, there's still going to be more to be dumped into there. Oh, my gosh. It's so dumb.
Get handled. It's kind of a scummy thing to do.
It is.
And obviously is going to have some repercussions down the line.
I like how the narrator's just like, yeah, it's probably going badly. You guys already know.
After explaining how Magic Drawer really works to Amelia, she's in disbelief that he lied to her.
Yep.
He says that they ran a month of simulations on dumping waste into pocket dimensions, with the consensus being that it would almost certainly collapse the destinations, leading to a rubber band situation like with 7243.
Great.
He says that it's just a detail, not even a major one, and it's just like dumping into pocket dimensions in every...
No way he's saying this right now. Ain't no way he's saying this to her right now. SCP-5000 is another type of a loop. I love loops. They're so confusing, but like they're so fun, you know?
Every respect except for ontological strength factor. Reinders says that she wanted to tell her, and so did Deering.
Yep, I bet they
but
did.
he knew that she would never go along with it.
And I wonder why.
She says that he didn't really need her help, but he disagrees, saying that he needed her on his side so he could make this possible.
Is there an SCP? Like, I know obviously they tried using SCP to get rid of the waste, but is like another SCP they can possibly use that you guys can think of? That would be like a good option to like get rid of all this waste. I feel like there has to be. I say that like this is not the SCP that they tried working with. But like still, there's just so many. Surely there's something they can do about it. Like maybe there's like an SCP that just eats everything and like that weird alligator thing. Well, I don't remember. Does it eat or does it just destroy things? I don't remember. There has to be something.
She shoves him away and says that he wanted her to think that he had found a permanent solution like he...
I want to recommend 5000. Yeah. Shooting it to the sun. Is that how it works?
promised.
Yeah, I'll try SCP 5000. You guys seem to like that one.
Calls him a sad sack of shit. She then laughs
Deserved.
and holds her head in her hand.
She's gone mad.
Before saying that she needs more information about where exactly they're sending all of these packets of waste. Deering says that it's always to Site 43, but Amelia replies that they don't have a Site 43, leading them to explain that they've been sending things back in time as well.
Oh, okay. Great. 5,000 is good. Okay.
She
Sounds
asks
cool.
when into their past is this packet going, and Deering checks the terminal, nearly
Imagine you could
collapsing
do
at what he
this with
finds
just
there.
like all your problems.
He says that they're not doing this, to which Rainder says that it's already been done, as
Also, that's really smart. Send it back in your past. What the heck?
the past is a pact.
Mm.
They need to send something anomalous through the aperture, and they need to do it soon, as they can't destabilize the cosmos for this. Amelia is confused as to what's going on, and Deering just says that he won't do it. He didn't do it, and it wasn't him. Amelia convenes the primary operational staff of Area 21 to review the data from Magic Drawer, determining that its data is correct. It's preparing to transport esoteric effluents to Achromatic Abatement Facility AAF-D on September 8th, 2028, the day that Phil Deering died. The executive staff reconvene, and Amelia says that this isn't a problem, it's an opportunity, as they can just send something innocuous back. Something that's enough to get the job done, but not enough to kill him. They just discovered that Phil was never meant to die, and since they caused it, they can uncause it.
Wow. Surely that's it, right? You just, in order to not cause the problem that you caused, you have to go back, and you can fix it by causing an issue so it doesn't. In other words, I feel like that's not gonna work. I feel like them interacting with it is just gonna mess it up. Like, I don't know.
They can fix the whole thing, and all they have to do is whiff the next shot.
Yeah, whiff.
Deering replies that she's saying that he caused it, and Reinders tells her that these versions of themselves and everything they've done are the products of Phil's death. They can't create a toxic uber paradox to save one human life. Amelia, however, says that they're meant to fix this, as it's an indescribably unlikely coincidence that they'd end up targeting themselves.
No, please.
Reinders replies that every
this.
target is indescribably unlikely, particularly from the perspective of each. Deering agrees, saying that there's just no way they're the next recipient on blind luck, as it would be the single greatest probabilistic outlier ever recorded. It's infinitely more likely that something went wrong with the machine, and it failed to model the time plane curve correctly. Theoretically, they should be the end of the arc. Amelia just remarks that these are more mistakes, to which Deering immediately assumes she's blaming him, saying that Placeholder was the one who did all of the calculations.
Man, these guys are such drama queens. Get over it. No. No, but like, what's going on? There's just so much tension, I feel like. Aren't you guys scientists? Just stop thinking with emotions.
Reinders says that she's been trying to reach him,
How
but
dare you
he's
be
gone
human.
silent again. They only have a little over 2 hours before they have to make a decision, although Reinders says that there's nothing to debate. Amelia says that they can save Phil, as they work miracles every day, and if they burned the brain cells in this room, they could power Toronto.
Wait, how does that work though? Okay, like I said, timeline stuff and loopy and just time is confusing. So if they save him, will there just be the new Phil in the present time? How does that work? Like, what's, no offense, but like, what's the point of saving him at this point? Like, he's dead, at least in their timeline, I guess.
For a lifetime. She crawled her way out of hell for this chance, to do right by someone she loves. Deering says that maybe it is possible, but Reinders is resolute that it isn't. Amelia shouts that they can do this, they can start over, and that she needs her husband back.
Yeah, surely. He's
The
gonna get
three
back.
go silent before Amelia apologizes to Dougal, and he says that it's okay,
Dougal.
because he knew, of course. Reinders interrupts the moment by saying that she can't spare them the time, as they're out of time to waste. Amelia finally hesitates and says that they need to let him go, but Deering says that she needs to let him go, while he needs to take responsibility.
Oh.
Deering then calls a recess to allow for the Historioglyphics Division to compare the next packet with the reported contents of AAF-D on September 8th, 2028. Amelia and Reinders are later engaged in conversation within Amelia's office when they are alerted to the power-up of Magic Drawer by a momentary power fluctuation. They return to the control room to find Deering missing, instead finding him within the maintenance access corridor to the device's delivery aperture. Amelia rushes to the outer door, finding it locked, while Reinders remains in the control room. Amelia hammers on the door and shouts at Deering to ask what he's doing, seeing him through the porthole standing in the empty aperture, clenching and unclenching his hands. She says that he's standing next to the loading chamber, and it's not going to fire until he closes the inner door, as she tries to open the outer door, but her access code is denied.
What is this?
She continues pounding on the door as she shouts at him, but she gets no response.
Man, it's really detailed.
Reinders tells her over the intercom that he's overriding the safeties, causing her to pound on the porthole, bloodying herself in the process, and continuing to shout at him. The overhead lights then flicker, and a persistent hum is heard as Magic Drawer prepares to deliver its packet.
Sorry.
Amelia tells him to stop and talk to her, or else she'll shut the entire system down. Reinders tells her that she can't do that, and Deering finally turns and also tells her that she can't do that.
Oh, great.
She says that she can. To
Yeah.
which Deering replies that they know that she can, but it's the wrong move.
Oh.
He's sorry, and he thought this would be easier if the two of them didn't talk again.
Uh-oh.
She says that he always wants to do things the easy way, and he replies that he's making up for it
So relatable.
now. From where she's standing, though, it looks like he's about to give up and leave them the mess he's made. He tells her that he knows what killed Phil, because he killed Phil, and this is how he did it. The thing that coiled around Phil did so for a reason, and it ignored him. It solved the problem, and that's why he's the only one who could see it, because it was him. He's the loop. This packet is 100% paraspectral, and it's the extra material that showed up after Phil flushed AAF-D, the stuff that nobody could account for. It's the source of the thing that took his life, and that thing behaved with purpose. Amelia tries to argue that that doesn't mean that he has to go through, but he says that it does. The loop is stable, so long as they get this next part right. Otherwise, there will be a paradox. Phil's death set all of this in motion, and it's cross-multiversal now.
Kind of really did,
so
didn't
Phil
it?
has to die again. He always has to die, and it has to be a sure thing. That
That's
means
sad.
that they need control at the moment of crisis, something with agency, which isn't just a shot of ectoplasm. Amelia asks what makes him think he won't just melt into nothing when the packet pours onto him, and Deering supposes that he will. But he knows that that won't be the end of it, because he saw himself. He saw himself draw in the extra energy, take Phil, and then pass back into the pipes.
Sure he did, no.
Amelia asks why it has to be him, to which he just says that he's his brother, and this time he's going to show up for him.
Aww.
Amelia then argues that this doesn't make any sense, and they're not thinking rationally. Why would this be the loop? Him turning himself into something that would kill his own brother. Deering explains that without him involved, the packet would have just killed Phil instead, and then it would have blown the entire facility sky high. As far as anyone would know then, it was all Phil's fault. But instead, something sucked up the effluence in the air, and then took him. Deering then realizes that he remembers...
You know, maybe it's a good thing, though. Maybe the facility should just blow up. Maybe we shouldn't continue the loop, you know? Maybe we should just end it here.
thinking that Phil hadn't felt it and hadn't suffered. Maybe it gave him that, and then it saved the site, giving Dougal the chance to turn the valve and start his penance before disappearing into the system. He then laughs and says that he bets that it was still in the system back in 2043, to which Amelia says that she saw it. It leaked down into the engine from AAF-D and tried to kill her as well on her last run through the cycle. Deering remarks that doesn't make any sense, since she couldn't see it in the video of Phil's death. She replied that she could see it in person, though, when the chronology anchor started to work. When Site-43 rolled back to reality, it must have been caught in the throes, and it appeared, reaching out for her. Deering says that it was running in circles for 15 years, trapped in the pipes, waiting for her to bring him back to life so that he could help her to survive. Amelia remarks that he didn't help her to survive, and laughs, saying that she should have known it was him. She then asks again why this is the loop, though, because Phil only died because he did this.
Are we like on a time limit? They're sure yapping a lot.
Not died, Dougal would never have decided to do this. So
maybe I'm not understanding the how crucial the scene is. I thought this was like a very like fast-paced scene for some reason.
Doesn't work. Deering just shrugs, saying that it happened, so it does work because the universe requires it to. It's a bootstrap paradox, and the materials involved were ambichronological, with time flowing both ways. Or maybe that's looking too deep, and he and Phil are just predestined to part.
Rip.
Amelia places her hand on the porthole, and Deering moves to match the gesture before pulling back. She tells him that that's not enough, and it's not universal perversity. It needs to mean something more. He did all of this for him. They both did, but he tells her that she's half wrong, as he never did any of it for him.
Ooh.
Amelia says, what about her, telling him to let her do it, as that's the better solution. Deering says no, causing her to call him selfish, but he says that it's the least selfish part of this, maybe the only part that isn't. Sure, he's taking the easy way out, but that's who he is, and that's all he's useful for.
Sorry.
Maybe he can find a way to do some good in there, and if
no,
he
agree, though.
He'll keep trying. But he's weak, and lazy, and short-sighted, and nothing anyone can count on, as she well knows.
Okay, jeez.
So she needs to stay out there, the way she
no, I actually agree, though.
is right now, and keep doing the real work. Because that's
you get back to work, woman.
who she is, and nobody made her that way but her. He then tells her goodbye.
No, we actually really do need her, though. It sucks, though. It's like, I mean, he's right, though. Like, as he said, he's lazy. He doesn't, he likes the easy way out. Like, but like, if you keep him here and you throw her in there, it's just like, what's the point? Like you guys aren't going to advance in any way without her. You just aren't.
Bye. Before stepping into the loading chamber and pressing a button, closing the inner door.
She's too valuable.
Amelia tells him that she doesn't forgive him, as magic drawer activates, and Deering remarks that it's just a trick, recalling the toy that he was bringing to show his brother years ago. The device then compacts and delivers.
Hi, Diamond. Hello. How are you?
Its packet.
Water break.
We're given one last unnamed, undated note. This one simply reading, what is waste?
Thank you. I was already sipping my water. I'm good. That's good.
I guess you finally figured it out, Dougal.
Dougal.
This marks the end of the compiled documents for this item, as far as the Oracle Collective has gathered together. In their summary, they state that deliberate abuse of authority resources precipitated the enhanced ascension of a Tier 4 cosmological...
Yeah, what? I'm sorry. What is this again?
...anomaly, in addition to extensive material damages and injection of volatile anomalous phenomena within and beyond the coalitional time plane.
See.
Personnel in positions with unfettered access to power, resources, and opportunities for abuse of those are governed by irrationality, individual self-aggrandizement, and interpersonal indulgence.
Yeah.
This iteration displays routine ignorance of meta-contractual obligations, making no effort to report to the collective or acknowledge their existence.
What the heck am I looking at?
In their judgment, they deem the iteration to be in major violation of various multi-foundation agreement clauses. Because of this, their central normalcy authority iteration has been ejected from the coalitional time plane.
What?
Any outstanding interdimensional access to the coalitional time plane has been severed, and their coverage under Goldbaker and Associates is now limited.
Oh.
Their local temporal authority will soon revert to pre-coalitional status.
Do they have anything?
Losing any data which would allow their infiltration of the coalitional time plane, or any feasible recreation of the collective's services. Their timeline is subject to the forces of the multiverse, including the variety of catastrophic events perpetrated by their iteration in kind. They implore them to exercise greater caution in their efforts to contain, in balance with their aims to secure and protect.
Yeah, that's our goal.
In other words, this iteration has screwed up one too many times and has now been kicked out of the club. Whereas the collective has bailed them out in the past, fixing up the mistakes of other admonition
We got no W's here, only L's.
projects, they won't be doing that again, so they're on their own.
Uh-oh.
We're then given some text messages between Dr. Reinders and Placeholder, with Reinders saying that they did find him after a fashion. It took Amelia a month to reverse engineer and then adapt the old 7243 referent seeker to pick up his Daumal signature, altered state or no, but she did it. He's still out there. Placeholder just responds by saying that he's busy and asks if there's something she wants. She replies that he was blundering aimlessly around in some idiospheric trash heap in between darting in and out of time and space, looking for something. She says that Placeholder knows what he's unleashed already in the process, not that he cares.
Oh.
Placeholder says that she might be surprised, so Rainder says that she's sending him the snapshot that Amelia took, and she hopes that he takes a good, long look. Placeholder asks her what response she's looking
what am I looking at?
for here, such as regret or satisfaction, and says that she knows how it goes. Reinders replies that he left her holding the bag, both of them did, and she wants him to acknowledge that. Placeholder says that he has nothing to give her, not until this is done, but Reinders says that it will never be done, will it? Placeholder ends by saying that she knows how it goes. She plays her part, and he plays his.
Yeah, surely it'll work out.
Reinders then sends him an image, the snapshot that Amelia took,
What the
and
heck?
says that they all fall apart at the finish line. Finally, we have
I'll be real with you guys. I would give up a long time ago. I would just be like, GG, it's over. We suck. we should not be messing with this. It's over. Humanity shouldn't be alive for this long anyway. You know, we should be extinct.
some terminal commands sent by Placeholder, in which he sets up the terminal to wipe his session activity after he shuts it down. He then sends a message to SCP-6276, an extremely intelligent AI that handled encryption for Site-15's database, titled Mastermind, although considering that it was around in 2097, it's not clear how or when Placeholder is interfacing with it.
I like how AI is also incorporated in this story. I mean, it makes sense, right? I mean, we already have AI as it is, and it's like, I don't know. I like hearing it, like, in science, like, I don't know. It's just like, of course they would have it. Like, of course they have AI. Why wouldn't they have AI?
The message that Placeholder sends reads, Operation Last Straw, success. Project Admonition, ready.
I wonder if AI will go corrupt and go against us.
A reply message is then received from an address at mastermind.net, which simply reads, Initiate Phase 2. Clearly, then, this series is becoming more than just a collection of disparate articles based loosely around a central theme of arrogance and miracle fixes. Placeholder McDoctorate seems to know a lot more about the situation than pretty much anyone else, but he's keeping things pretty close to the vest for now. As a general summary, then, Dougal Deering witnessed an incident where an anomalous phenomenon killed his brother in front of him, but no one else but him could see it.
Okay.
Afterwards, spurred on by his brother's wife, he developed a machine capable of erasing anomalous waste before it could even exist through some temporal shenanigans. This machine failed, partly due to the actions of hostile AI agents let loose by Lotus, which
AI.
resulted in Amelia being stuck in the site by herself in a temporal loop for a number of years. She finally made it back out, and Deering resolved to make a better system this time, which involved sending the waste to other
I like this recap.
foundations to deal with instead of into their own past. This too failed when the system targeted their own timeline, something it wasn't supposed to do, with the team realizing that it was going to send waste back to the day that Phil died, completing a temporal loop. This whole scenario began because Phil died that day, so he needed to die from this. Otherwise, there would be a massive temporal paradox that would basically rip apart the multiverse. Deering realized that they couldn't just send back a pile of anomalous crap and hope for the best, as they had to be sure that it would kill Phil, so he had to go back himself to actively kill his brother and ensure the time loop was completed. In doing so, he himself didn't actually die, but he's now an anomaly himself, floating around through time and space.
Woo.
Amelia managed to lock onto his signature, but who knows if she'll ever be able to do anything about it, now losing both Deering brothers in the process. All of the admonition articles are tragic stories, as is their nature, but this one is perhaps the most human of the bunch so far.
Yeah, it does seem like it.
Phil was an utterly innocent victim that can never be saved, despite all of the messing with time going on here. Dougal finally takes responsibility for...
I mean, do you guys believe in fate? Just a quick question. I don't know. Fate's such a weird thing. I feel like I believe it at the same time I don't. Because it's like, yeah, you could really just change your life if you really want to. But it's like, is that just you? Or is it like, is there other yous thinking the same thing and doing different things? And it's like, I don't know. I don't know. Fate's weird. And I wonder if he really is just forever trapped in a loop of just always dying. And what do you mean trapped in a loop, honestly? Once you're dead, right? Like, I don't know. It's weird. I don't get it.
everything he's wrought, but ends up in quite an unfortunate state. And Amelia has tried to be the reasonable one throughout all of this, but has really only ended up where she started, but without either of the Deerings.
Yep.
Presumably, the new waste management system they've implemented, Magic Drawer, is continuing to function, meaning that this is a rare case of an admonition article in which the miracle cure seems to still be functioning.
Yay.
That
Let's
being
go.
said, we're left with quite the ominous ending regardless, as we don't
Sure.
know what Operation Last Straw entailed, and it's doubtful that much good is going to come from Project Admonition itself. All of these articles have led to the enhanced ascensions of Tier 4 cosmological anomalies, and that's certainly something that's going to come into play before long. We can hope that Placeholder is on the Foundation's side, but there's a lot of Foundations, and it's clear that Project Admonition involves a lot more than just one unfortunate timeline.
Are all the foundations just
Time will
working
tell,
together?
but perhaps
How's
one
that work?
timeline with a penchant for finding miraculous fixes to big problems will ruin things for everyone.
Yay. What did I learn in that episode? Sacrifice yourself in a time loop for your brother. That's what I learned. That one was, dare I say, the most interesting one. Not in terms of like events that were happening, but just, I don't know. I feel like I unlocked something more with the story, if that makes sense. Got to, I don't know. I feel like we kind of already knew that though, right? This whole like loop that was just gonna happen. But like, not really, I guess. It's like the first time they really mentioned it. I don't know. It was really weird. The whole, oh, hi. You just missed it. You missed the SCP reaction to part 3. No, it was really weird though. Yeah, it's all good though. I still don't understand like the whole brother loop thing. Like I get it. Like sure, like the whole universe would just explode or something. I don't know, something. Like I don't know. I kind of get it and I kind of don't. I'm just like at this point, just give up. I'm sorry. Like I really would. I would just give up because I don't know. Props to them for believing that humanity will still progress because of his brother and him killing him over and over again. But like, I don't know. Is it worth it? Is it really worth it? Also, they just put a bunch of waste in the universe. I don't know about that. I don't know how that's gonna turn out, especially since the other universes are probably doing the same thing because they probably have waste and more waste to look after. And it's just like, ugh, my brain. Oh well, it was fun. Also, I'm curious about the AI now. I wonder how that's gonna play into more things, especially the guys who kind of just opt out of this and was like, we're not gonna help you guys anymore. You guys kind of suck. You keep making more problems, you know, which they are. But hey, they're trying their best, okay? They're trying to save humanity. You know, they're kind of failing each and every single time I watch this, but oh well. Anyway, like and subscribe if you guys want more videos like this. I'm Maroon the Moon, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Okay, bye, little demons. Bye-bye.